The throne room of the Galactic Empire fell silent as the human ambassador entered. Queen Valera of the Torvan dynasty sat upon her crystalline seat, her daughter Princess Lysa clutching the armrest beside her. 200 cycles of imperial rule had taught Valera to read every species that came before her. But humans remained an enigma. The ambassador was unremarkable by galactic standards. No scales, no extra limbs, no natural armor. Just soft skin, binocular vision, and a frame that seemed barely capable of surviving their own planet's gravity. Yet the Torvan scouts had reported something impossible. This species had turned back the Krell swarm. "Your Majesty," the human said, bowing with practiced diplomacy. His name was Marcus Webb, and his credentials listed him as a former soldier. "I bring greetings from Earth and the human colonial sphere." Valera gestured acknowledgement. "Ambassador Webb, your species makes bold claims. The Krell have consumed 14 civilizations in the past millennium. Yet you say you defeated them in open battle." "We did what was necessary, Your Majesty." "Necessary?" Valera tasted the word. "The Krell breed warriors from birth. They know nothing but conquest. What could humans possibly possess that we lack?" Marcus met her gaze steadily. "Perspective, perhaps. We fought ourselves for so long that fighting others comes naturally. We understand war in ways that peaceful species cannot." A murmur rippled through the assembled courtiers. To admit such savagery openly was unthinkable. Yet the human spoke without shame. Princess Lysa leaned forward, her young eyes wide. She was only 30 cycles old, barely past childhood by Torvan standards. The ancient texts had been her obsession lately, particularly the prophecy of the 10th shield. Her tutors dismissed it as mythology, but Lysa had memorized every verse. "When the swarm descends and hope grows dim, there shall come the death world's kin. Born of struggle, forged in pain, they shall break the endless chain." The words echoed in her mind as she studied the human. He looked so fragile. Valera continued the audience. "We have reviewed your military records, Ambassador. Your tactics are reckless. You sacrifice ships and soldiers with abandon. You fight in ways that violate every principle of civilized warfare. War isn't civilized, Your Majesty. That's something we learned the hard way. Elaborate." Marcus hesitated, then spoke carefully. "Humans spent 10,000 years fighting each other. We built weapons that could sterilize our own planet. We came within moments of extinction multiple times. We learned that survival doesn't reward mercy or hesitation. It rewards those willing to do whatever it takes." The throne room erupted in scandalized whispers. Such barbarism was unheard of among the enlightened species. But Lysa whispered to her mother, so quietly that only Valera could hear. "Mom, it's him." The queen's head turned sharply. "What did you say?" "The prophecy, Mother. The 10th shield. It speaks of a warrior race from a death world, born of endless conflict. They would come when the swarm threatened to consume all light." Lysa's voice trembled with certainty. "The humans are the 10th shield." Valera had dismissed the prophecy as superstition, but something in her daughter's tone gave her pause. The ancient texts had predicted 9 great civilizations would rise and fall before the final defenders emerged. The Torvan dynasty was the 9th. She studied Marcus with new eyes. "Tell me about your world, Ambassador. What makes it a death world?" Marcus seemed surprised by the question. "Earth? Where do I begin? Our gravity is higher than most inhabited worlds. Our atmosphere is corrosive to many species. We have predators that hunt in packs, weather systems that can level cities, and diseases that evolve faster than we can cure them. 70% of our planet is covered in water we can't drink without processing. We've survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, and volcanic winters. Earth doesn't want us alive, Your Majesty. We're alive anyway. And this shaped your nature? Every species is shaped by its world. Ours taught us to be stubborn. When something tries to kill us, we either adapt or die. Usually we adapt. Marcus paused. The Krell learned that the hard way. Valera leaned back in her throne. The pieces were falling into place. Tell me about the Battle of Proximus Station. The battle was already legendary. 50 human ships against 300 Krell dreadnoughts. The humans should have been obliterated. Instead, they had won. Marcus's expression grew distant. The Krell had numbers and firepower. We had desperation. They expected us to retreat when they destroyed our first wave. Instead, we rammed our damaged ships into their command vessels. They expected us to surrender when they breached our hulls. Instead, we vented atmosphere and fought in vacuum. They expected us to break when our casualties reached 50%. We fought to the last ship. Madness, breathed one of the courtiers. Effectiveness, Marcus corrected. The Krell are used to species that value survival. They're not used to species that value victory more than life. By the time they realized we wouldn't stop, we'd broken their formation and destroyed their hierarchy. Krell don't function well without leadership. We made sure they had none left. Lysa gripped her mother's arm tighter. The prophecy says they shall embrace the darkness so that others may see light. They shall spend their lives like coin, purchasing tomorrow for those who cannot pay the price. Valera felt a chill run through her. The words fit too perfectly. Why are you here, Ambassador? She asked. If humans are such warriors, why seek alliance with the Empire? Marcus smiled faintly. Because we're also human. We know what endless war costs. We've seen our cities burn and our children starve. We know what it's like to lose everything. We don't want that for anyone else. He met her gaze directly. The Krell are coming for you next, Your Majesty. Your scouts have reported their gathering at the outer reach. You have 3 months, maybe 4, before they arrive. Your fleets are strong, but you've never faced an enemy like this. You fight with honor and precision. The Krell fight with hunger and numbers. And humans? We fight to win. Whatever it takes. The throne room fell silent. Every being present understood what was being offered. The humans would stand between the Empire and the swarm. They would do the terrible things that civilized species could not stomach. They would sacrifice themselves so that others might survive. Valera looked at her daughter. Lysa's eyes shone with tears and wonder. The child had seen something the adults had missed. Perhaps that was why the prophecy spoke of recognition, not calculation. Some truths could only be seen with innocent eyes. The prophecy says the 10th shield will bear a mark, Lysa whispered. A symbol of their nature. What do humans carry into battle? Marcus reached into his uniform and withdrew a small flag, blue and green, representing their world. But embedded in it was something else, a quote in their own language. He translated, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends." Lisa looked at her mother. "He's the 10th shield, Mom. They all are." Queen Valera stood. The assembled court rose with her. She descended from her throne and approached the human ambassador. By protocol, this was unthinkable. Queens did not approach ambassadors. But prophecy cared nothing for protocol. Marcus Webb of Earth, the Torvan Empire accepts your offer of alliance. But I must know the truth. Can your people really stop the Krell? Marcus met her eyes. In them, she saw something that terrified and reassured her simultaneously. She saw the gaze of a species that had stared into the abyss and decided to stare back harder. Your Majesty, humans have one saying we live by. We've whispered it in trenches and foxholes, in bunkers and on beaches, across 10,000 years of war. We say it when hope dies and death comes calling. What do you say? We say not today. The Krell can come with 1,000 ships or 1,000,000. They can have better weapons and superior numbers. But they're going to learn what every enemy of humanity has learned. We don't know how to quit. We'll fight them in space and on the ground. We'll fight them in the ruins of our ships and the ashes of our cities. We'll fight them until they break or we do. And we don't break, Your Majesty. We never break. Valera believed him, not because of his words, but because of what lay behind them. Here was a species forged in fire and tempered by extinction. They had clawed their way up from the bottom of the food chain and refused to go back down. She placed her hand on his shoulder, a gesture reserved for the highest honor. Then let it be known throughout the Empire. The humans are our shield, the 10th shield. And when the swarm comes, they shall stand first. Lysa smiled through her tears. The prophecy had been fulfilled, not as anyone expected, but as it needed to be. The Death World's children would defend the living galaxy. They would pay in blood so that others could pay in prayers. As Marcus bowed and withdrew, Valera held her daughter close. Outside, the stars shone peacefully. But soon, very soon, they would burn with war. And when they did, humanity would be there, ready to do what civilized species could not, ready to be the monsters that fought monsters, ready to be the 10th shield.